Hey guys, welcome to 1922 Project. My name is Kelly, and today we are going to talk about Etsy and why I am ditching it. Do not worry, we're not going to talk about fees and boycotts and all of that silliness. We are, but that's not the reason why I'm leaving. But first, if you're new here, like I said, my name is Kelly. I have a sewing and embroidery business. I'm adding in screen printing. We're going to talk about that. And typically on this channel, I do more like tutorials and tips and tricks. But today, I wanted to just touch base with you guys and talk a little bit about why I'm making some decisions that I'm making, because I think it might be helpful to others as well. I have a sick kid home today, so I didn't want to do anything big in terms of video, so we'll just chat for a little bit, but typically there's a little less chatting. Well, actually, no, that's kind of a lie too. I talk a lot. So anyway, you can see my t-shirt quilt that I'm finishing up. That's been on the back burner for quite some time, so I'm going to do this video and then I'm going to finish that and get it out the door. So Etsy, y'all, I'm over it. I'm done. Now that's a little bit, the title of this video is a little bit clickbaity. Like I'm not really ditching Etsy. Like I'm not closing my store, but I am not, and I mean zero, focused on it anymore. And that's been for a few weeks. And it's going to continue. I've deleted some listings and I'm just not touching it. And let me tell you why. It's maybe not why you think. Yes, Etsy increased their fees, or they're going to, or I don't follow it that much. Because here's the deal. I actually think that their percentage is probably fine based on what they offer. However, I've had an Etsy shop since 2008, maybe 7. I'll have to think about it. I think my youngest son just turned 14, and I think that he was born, but he was still a baby. So anyway, 14, 15 years, I've had an Etsy shop. You know how many sales I've had? 127. 127. I cannot make a living on that. I cannot continue to put effort into something that isn't working for me. Does it work for other people? Absolutely. You can go throughout YouTube and you can see people with their big stack of here's all my orders, and that is not me. And it is potentially 100% my fault. Well, not potentially, it's my fault. I don't have whatever skills are necessary to make all of that happen. The SEO, the pictures, the this and the that, all of the expended energy to sell that one shirt, I just don't have it. Now, to be fair, even though I've had my Etsy shop for that long, there have been times when I've sold and not sold and sold and not sold. But I really hit it hard the past couple of years, and that's partly because of the YouTube videos I was watching, right? I wanted to be one of those people with the big stack of orders and that's complaining because, oh God, I gotta make this shirt again. I've made this shirt a bazillion times and I'm so bored with it. I wanted to be that person. I'm not that person. It's just not happening. That's not my journey, and I need to keep trying to make it my journey. Quite frankly, it is kind of boring making the same shirt all the time. Not that I've really done that, but sometimes I'm like, oh God, I gotta make a shirt. I don't want to make a shirt. Here was kind of the light bulb moment for me. Again, if you're new here, right over here, I have an industrial sewing machine. And for the past 6 years, I've had an account where I use that sewing machine 3 to 4 hours a day. It has paid enough for me to make ends meet. I have a master's degree. I'm a speech therapist. I could go out and make a lot more money than I was making sewing. But I loved it. I'm home. Like I said, I've got a sick kid today. She's 17. If I had a real job, she's fine. But it's nice, right? I mean, and soon she won't even be here, and she definitely won't need me to make her soup, and I want to make her soup. So anyway, that is going away. Nothing major there. They're selling the business. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. So I'm really, it's part of the reason why I haven't made very many videos lately. It's really been like, okay, we have to pivot because my husband does not make enough we live a comfortable life. But we have 3 kids and one is in college, one's about to go to college, we want to continue to be comfortable. Plus, again, they're older. It's not like I'm gonna, I'm not a do nothing, even if you don't have a job that pays, you're still working, but regardless of the age of your children. But I have to bring in some income. That's the bottom line. So we've been really sort of, kind of looking at everything, did a budget, what do we need to do, blah, blah, blah. And if you've watched for a while, I have always said most of my embroidery business comes locally. Word of mouth, this, that. I also do, I also a quilt, or yesterday I hemmed a prom dress, things like that. And so I had an order, a teacher friend. I also happen to know a lot of teachers, which is helpful. Know your teachers, man. So I used to work at a couple of schools here in town. So, you build a network that way. But teacher friend contacted me. She needed some embroidered polos, and then she wanted some screen printed shirts, not vinyl, screen printed. I have screen printing equipment. I know how to screen print. It is hard. For me, it's hard. But I can do it. And it was one color, which is easier. And I was like, I am gonna screen print these because I can charge her less because it's way cheaper than vinyl. And I need to learn how to do this. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture on Instagram. I've got the shirts, the t-shirts that I screen printed, and the polos. It was 10 shirts total. I made some money, but it's not, whoa, huge order. But I just had this moment where I was like, this is where it's at. Why do I want to spin my wheels constantly on Etsy to sell that one shirt when I can sell 10 shirts to one person? And it was just, I've certainly thought of that before, but again, I just was like, Etsy, I got to be on Etsy and I got to sell on Etsy. And this is, and I make YouTube videos about being an Etsy seller, and I just don't want to. I don't want, oh, you have to check your SEO. And I'm in all these groups on Facebook, improving Etsy and how to get your SEO better and and it's like, I just don't want to. There are people who are good at that, and there are people who are making a good living at Etsy. I don't predict that I'm going to be one of those people. I can predict, though, and it absolutely happened. I posted that picture of the shirts I made. I've now got 2 other teachers contacting me because here's the deal in my town, and it's probably true in your town. I know if you live in a really tiny town, there's, different variables or whatever. But here's the deal in my town. I live right outside of Austin. So there's tons of big towns around here. We don't really call them suburbs, but we are kind of the suburbs of Austin. And if you want screen printed shirts or embroidery shirts, you can go to Company X, the big company. Well, they want you to order, it's got to be 20 shirts, or it's got to be, 10 backpacks or, this or that for them to even do it. Or it's okay, we'll do 2 shirts, but they're $25 a piece, upwards, $30 a piece. So I feel like I've been slowly building this niche where I'll do 2 shirts and I'll charge you the same. I mean, like the screen printing shirts, well, here's the deal. So I'll do things that people drop off. I'm going to continue to do that. I've always done that. It's no big deal to me. But like these shirts, I ordered them. And yes, I have to pay for shipping and all of that. Nobody wants to pay for shipping for 2 shirts, but I passed that on to them. I didn't pay shipping. That was built into the cost of their shirts. I'm also very fortunate that I got, and again, this is all word of mouth. Etsy did none of this for me. All word of mouth. A friend of a friend I did some work for. She then recommended me to somebody else that has a promotional company. So they do businesses where they want, they want 7 embroidered shirts, and they want this many screen printed shirts, and they want pins with their name on them, and they want hats, and all of these things. And this is a well-established promotional company. I mean, I had never heard of them, but I know they've been around. Yeah, I looked them up, of course, but they've been around. They were running into the same problem. They had smaller companies in town that just wanted a couple of hats. They didn't want 40 hats that you have to get from the local embroidery shop. So she contacted me. We discussed what she's paying to them. Like, I've got to pay them this much for 2 hats. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not going to charge you that. And I can still, and I'm not shorting myself by doing that. Yes, I'm charging less, but because I have no overhead, I'm not renting a space, I'm not then giving some of that money to someone like Etsy, I get to keep it all. I don't have to charge as much. So I got established with her, and it's intermittent. I mean, sometimes she's contacting me every week, and sometimes I'll go a couple weeks and I won't hear from her. And but right when I posted that picture of the shirts from the elementary school that I was like, yes, this is the direction I need to go in. That very same day, this woman contacted me. She's got 70 backpacks. Now, the reason why it's so many, and we had discussed me doing like 10 or 12 of, the smaller amounts that she needed, is the bigger company in town wouldn't do them because they want it embroidered in 3 spots. Y'all, these are going to take me forever. They want it embroidered in 3 spots, and one of the spots on the backpack they won't do. And I get it. It's not an easy... Well, I say that. I'm going to do a video. When they come in, I'm going to do a video on these like a work with me on these backpacks because, honestly, it's easy as can be. I mean, it's going to take forever because the stitch outs take forever. Not forever. It's like, 9 minutes. But when you're doing that 70 times, that's a lot. That's a lot. But there was a flap. They wanted part of their logo on, and the big company wouldn't do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. I mean, so I've done it for them before in that same spot, so they knew I would. So I'm waiting for those backpacks. They're coming either today or tomorrow, but 70 of them. And I'm getting a nice chunk of change for them. So it's kind of one of those, again, if I was trying to focus on Etsy, I might be missing all of these opportunities that, again, not only, so 70 versus all of this expended energy for one shirt on Etsy, no. And again, it's not about the fees, although that is part of it, because if I take that one shirt and I break it all down, I'm making the same as embroidering one of the, well, no, less than half I'm making half of what I'm making to embroider one of those 70 backpacks. So does all that make sense? Again, I know this isn't for everybody and it kind of depends on where you live. Although I have family in a really small town and I always think that's a gold mine too, because everybody in a small town, well, no, that's too general. I shouldn't say that. A lot in this small town that I know of, they like to go overboard on things. And they want a shirt glittery and even if there are 12 other embroiderers in your town, you need to be the best. You need to be the friendliest. You need to be the one that says, yeah, I'll do that. Because, so again, if I get on like Facebook or Nextdoor for neighborhood stuff, every single time I see an embroidery post, it's like, hey, I need this embroidered and don't recommend so-and-so. Where so-and-so is a perfectly acceptable and highly qualified company to do it. So you're always going to have people that don't like you and you're always going to have people that like you the best. So you just have to be the one they like the best, even if there's 12 others. And people say that same thing about Etsy. They say, oh, don't worry about saturation. Just, keep plugging away. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's my other story about Etsy. And again, I'm blabbing today, whatever. I had a bestseller, and I've told you guys this story before, but it was a tutu and a shirt. And I felt like I was getting traction because I was selling 2 or 3 of those a week. And then boom, I got hit with copyright. Fair enough. It said Wonder Woman, but it was O-N-E. So I thought, I can get away with that because it's not Wonder Woman with a W. It didn't have the logo on it. It was just red, white, and blue and said one, O-N-E, woman. Nope, got hit with. So to give Etsy that kind of control over my business, because once that ended, it ended. I've had 0 sales since I got hit with that copyright. Even though I had other things that were selling, there's something in the algorithm that it just knocked me out. And I don't want to play that game. I just don't. Again, absolutely. If who is that? DC Martin? It's DC, right? Is Wonder Woman? That's a DC comic? I don't know. If they're saying that they don't want, that's too much of a likeness, and fine, absolutely, I won't sell it. But it was clear that it then knocked off other, I had a bookworm shirt that has nothing to do with anything that was started to really pick up, haven't sold a one. Something about the way that everything works within Etsy, and I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to be spending my time doing that when I could be hustling in my town to get 20 shirts, to get 15 hats, to get 10 hats, whatever. So here's the plan, and I'm super excited about it. Okay, so we have the 70 backpacks. That's happening. I'm going to continue to really hone in on those screen printing skills, and I'll do a very basic how-to on that because I'm still at a very basic level. I'm not a pro, but these shirts were adorable. And one of my best friends wants some for her Special Olympics team. She coaches Special Olympics, and so those are on the pipeline, so I'm going to send those. I've got a mock-up I've got to send today for that. So I'll get some money off of that. But just the things that I can piecemeal together are making me more money than Etsy. So why not focus my energy on the thing that's making more money? So Etsy's there. I have shirts I need to get rid of. I'm always going to offer a white shirt with a, number and name and all of that. And again, I did delete quite a few listings on Etsy, but not all. There's still like 60. And if something sells, I'll make it and I'll send it off. But I'm not buying any more blanks until these are gone, other than white shirts. And I'll keep buying white shirts. Somebody wants a white shirt, you know, because those you can keep. But I've got hot pink, I've got pink, I've got this raspberry color that I thought was beautiful and nobody wanted it, or I couldn't get my picture to the people who wanted that. So I tried to destash the raspberry ones and I didn't get any bites on it. So I might hang on to those, but I think the pink and the hot pink I can get rid of. I just haven't listed them yet on the buy sell trade group. But I'm gonna get rid of those, and then I'm just gonna have, that's a lie, I'm gonna have white and navy. Because I still have some local customers who buy those shirts from me, and they like, some of them like navy. But I don't think any of those people have bought pink or hot pink. So forget it, gone, get it out of here. So I'm going to destash some stuff. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to see, I haven't really researched this yet, but I'm going to see if I can find some more promotion companies in town that are similar to this lady who's bringing me the 70 backpacks, and just kind of market myself to them. I'm going to market to all of my teacher friends about the 1 color, 2 colors. I can do two colors of screen printing and feel pretty confident about it. More than 2 colors, I'm not all that confident. So I'm going to kind of market to them. Like even if you're just the 3rd grade team wants a t-shirt, here's how much they are. This is what I can offer you. I might even make up a little brochure in Canva and send it to all the elementary schools in town. And again, I can branch out. I mean, I've got my town and then there's a bunch of towns all around us. And then, speaking of schools, you can go, and luckily my friend who coaches Special Olympics told me about this. Like my district, you can go on the district website and you can apply to be a vendor, an approved vendor. And that just kind of helps, because if whomever is wanting the shirts or the hats or this or the that is wanting the school to pay for it, it just makes it all easier in terms of finances and what they'll approve. It makes the approval process easier for the campus to pay for it. So I'm going to sign up with that. I have vendor accounts with S&S Activewear, and I just got signed up with Sanmar. Let me show you what Sanmar sent me. It cracked me up because there was this little geeky girl inside of me who got so excited about my little huge book here. It kind of seems wasteful because, I mean, really I'm going to get online and look, but I like having it. It makes me happy to have it in my possession. So I just signed up with Sanmar. I have not ordered from Sanmar, so I don't know whether or not to recommend them. Lots of people use Sanmar. But on S&S, who I've used, and I like S&S because they have like a hub in Fort Worth. So when there's a shirt that I want that I can get from Fort Worth, it's here the next day. So anyway, but they have, this is on my list for today, with S&S, you can kind of create your own website through them to where people can go on there and pick their shirts that way. What I typically do, like my friend who's the Special Olympics coach, I just sent her a couple options. I knew what color they wanted. I sent them, these are the soft, nice shirts that, you know, would probably be best, and just send people a couple of options. But sometimes it's easier to say, get on this website, find what you want, and make the decision that way. I mean, anybody can go to S&S, but this makes it more personalized. So that's on my agenda to look at. But overall, I'm just super excited with this pivot. I feel stupid. Like, why have I not done this before? Like all of these hours and time I've spent changing SEO, taking better pictures, doing more samples, whatever. For what? I made more money yesterday by hemming a prom dress and embroidering a jacket and a backpack. I made more money doing that than I made all month on Etsy last month. And part of it was fees, but not all of it. Most of it was just I didn't sell anything. So I just, whatever. Y'all can have it. You want it? It's yours. I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna see what happens. And I feel really confident about it. And I feel more in control. Again, I think it's fine that Etsy charges their fee and they, have certain controls over it because it's their platform. They can do what they want. But to then look at it like, or I could just have my own freedom. I mean, that's why I work from home. That's why I, have this business, because I want freedom. Well, I want freedom from that too. So again, if something sells, I'll make it, I'll send it off. I'm not shutting it down. Although if I go a couple more months with no sales, there's no reason to even pay the 20 cents to have all of those listings there. So we'll see. I'll make that decision later. But I would love to know if you guys are in the same boat, or if you're really hitting Etsy hard. Like, what are y'all's thoughts on it? What direction are you heading with your business? And I'm gonna keep you posted, because this is gonna happen. And I'll do a video with the 70 backpacks, because I can't wait to see what it looks like in my house. Again, that geeky sort of like, yeah, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Thanks if you've hung in there. Thank you for listening to all of this. If you found any value in it whatsoever, please hit that like button and subscribe, and I will chat with you guys later. Have a great day. Bye. Oops.